Hey, Clark, good job being here first. I am Interstatal. And Clark, you dialing it in from YouTube. I appreciate you, Clark. Linda Stein, I am Duo Interstatal. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles. It is May 30th in the year of my Lord, 2024. Danica, hey, hey, hey. Evgeny, how are you, Evgeny? Nice to see you here on YouTube. I appreciate you dialing in. So tonight's programming format, we're going to focus on Angel Hernandez, the Met manager, ex-Yankee Carlos Mendoza, who MLB recognized in the Negro League by morphing the stats into MLB stats. Danny's final road to the show, and we're going to end it with our prayer circle. Hey, Eric, John, how are you? Mark Brooks, I am Interstatal. Anaya, hello, honey. A shout out to you down in the Carolinas. Let's get right off on the mark right now. We're going to talk about Angel Hernandez. And let me give you a little bit of background on one Angel Hernandez. He was a National League umpire from the year 1991 to 1999. Mr. McGowan is in the house. Harold Sanderson, I am quadruple Interstatal. What's going on? Kevin Elliott making me quintuple. So Angel Hernandez. Now, back in the day, we had National League umpires. We had American League umpires. They had different uniform colors. American League was red. National League was blue or black, if you will. And then in the year 2000, they morphed the umpires with the interleague play. So umpires from both leagues morphed into one overall MLB umpiring crew. So Angel Hernandez ended his career from 2000 to 2024 as a Major League Baseball umpire. Just for some points of reference, Angel Hernandez was making $400,000 a year. A year. How about 6 months, right? Because that's what it is, really. It's 6 months. And not only that, they got vacation within that 6 months. So if you figure it all out, he probably 5 months out of the year making $400,000 plus, because he was a 30-year veteran of MLB. He got $30,000 extra a year, and then he got another $30,000 for the baseball TV rights that was shared with the umpires. Hey, Astrid, what's going on, buddy? My son Angelo was on. What is going on? I appreciate you, Clark, for finalizing and figuring out the technical needs to get onto YouTube. I appreciate you. So Angel Hernandez ended making $460,000 a year. To be awful. Did I say awful? And I'm going to give you some stats of one Angel Hernandez if I can. This is via Baseball Umpire Savant. You can look it up. His rankings, he had a 23% accuracy. The expected accuracy for an umpire was 67%. His accuracy above expected was 15%. His consistency was 17%. One Angel Hernandez, by his forced retirement, I'll call it a forced retirement. They gave him a deal I guess he couldn't refuse. They bought him out. The only thing that I'll support Rob Manfred in my lifetime is the dismissal, the departure of one Angel Hernandez. By him leaving, he increased the overall performance of umpires by 15%. Angel Hernandez was awful. And you might ask me, sitting behind the computer or watching me on your phone, How awful was he? Well, you know what? Thanks to my little technical ability here on Angie's Angles, we're going to show you a strikeout of Wyatt Langford. And guess who was behind the plate? One, Angel Hernandez. This is strike one, if you will. Look where that ball lands. Let's do it again to stop it. That ball is a good 6 inches on the outside part of the plate, away from the plate. 6 inches off. Let's go to strike two if we can.
2-1. And, oh my goodness. 2-1. And, oh my goodness.
And if I dare say, one more time.
1.
That might have even been more off the plate than strike one. And here's the coup de l'etat. Here it is. Strike three.
You have got to be kidding me.
Show that one more time.
You have got to be kidding me.
I'm going to stop it here. That ball was high and outside off Lennon. What's going on? Harold Sanderson, he was pathetic. He was awful. Clark, I got to put you up. Clark says he should have been the weatherman with those stats. Good job, Clark. I appreciate you. I mean, we're going to get into Carlos Mendoza. But one Angel Hernandez, he was blinder than a bat. And his sonar sucked. You know what I mean. Let me take a moment. Please go to Angie's Angles 4121 on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. Please start watching my podcast via YouTube. It'll help my exposure. I would appreciate everybody's cooperation. I wanted to thank Rangers Nation for those clips of that Ranger game showing the erroneous strike zone of one Angel Hernandez. I mean, strike one, 6 inches. Strike two, 7 inches. Strike three, high outside, about 8 inches. Up off the plate. Rob Manfred, I tip my hat to you for getting rid of one Angel Hernandez. See, I can like you just a little bit. Rob Manfred. Kevin Elliott chiming in that CB Buckner's next, and not too far behind is one Hunter Wendelstadt. Just awful. Awful. Ava Lee, how are you, honey? Anaya and Ava Lee down in Mark Brooks' granddaughters down in the Carolinas. We wish you both very well. Ava Lee, I understand you graduated kindergarten. Good job. Clark, it wasn't even close. Mr. McGowan, I know you like the flamethrower. I want to know your opinions, and we're going to start something new. Starting next week, so get your questions ready. We're going to dedicate 2 to 3 minutes before the prayer service, or the prayer circle, if you will, a Q&A, Ask Angie questions. Stump me with trivia, ask me questions pertaining to the game, and we'll get right into it. Next up on our podcast is going to be Carlos Mendoza. Now, for those that follow Angie's Angles, you know I'm vetted. I've got the archives to prove it. I said Carlos Mendoza, who? Ex-Skanky, who the Skankies had no gumption of promoting him to manager. He was the bench coach. He was in the organization since the flood. You know what I mean. He had no place in the hierarchy for the Skankies. And the Skankies said, please take him. We'll throw in a bag of donuts. If nothing else, I am a self-proclaimed savant when it comes to the game of baseball. I see it, I eat it, I drink it, I absorb it. It runs through my blood. You've heard me mention about Barbara, how she controls the music coming out of the speakers. Well, that's how baseball is, and it runs through my blood first. Kevin wants to call Carlos Mendoza off. I don't disagree with that one bit, my friend. Carlos Mendoza has lost the clubhouse. These guys have no passion. They have no emotion. They're an emotionless team. I.e., with Francisco Lindor the other day, claiming he couldn't pick up the spin coming off the ball, so he hoped the pitcher would throw him a ball. Pay me $30 million a year and I'll swing. I'll even swing at Angel Hernandez strike zone. James Krause is in the house. Mike dialing up from Taylor, Carolina. I am Tuple Interstatal. People, I can't say it enough. Please go to my YouTube page, Angie's Angles, 4121 on YouTube. Like, subscribe, watch my videos. I'd appreciate you. Mr. McGowan, how appropriate. He says maybe the team meeting will fix everything. Well, look at what Lindor did tonight. He had a solo home run. Hallelujah and amen. He's still batting .220. God's sakes. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm nothing else, I'm a fanatic. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. I live, breathe, sleep, eat, drink Mets. Mets. But I am also an overall baseball fan. And that's going to segue us into the next section of Angie's Angles. The Negro League had received accolades, proper placement in the Hall of Fame, Cool Papa Bell, Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, to name a few. And it was a sad time in our establishment, in the history of baseball, when men of color were denied entry into Major League Baseball. And we all know that Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Branch Rickey of the Dodgers made that happen. You give kudos all around. Jackie Robinson still had to deal with adversity and racism and still was an outstanding ball player. But here's where Rob Manfred and I start to separate. I gave him his kudos about getting rid of Angel Hernandez. But now Rob Manfred, in his infinite wisdom, has declared that the stats of the Negro League be morphed into the stats of Major League Baseball. Why are we not morphing the stats of the Japanese, the Korean, the Mexican League, or the Women's League? Or how about Angelo Gagliano Backyard Wiffle Ball League, where I led the league in home runs? Where's my stat being morphed into the greats of Major League Baseball lore? And before you jump on any bandwagon and say they were equal men, by far they were. And sometimes even better. But let me digress and give you some information about the Negro League compared to Major League Baseball. Back in the day, Major League Baseball played a 152-game season. Can anybody tell me what the season was for the Negro League? Anybody? I'll give you a second, and no Googling. And it wasn't consistent. The average season for the Negro League was 65 games. 6-5. Thank you, Harold. 65 games compared to 152. All of a sudden, Rob Manfred says Josh Gibson is the new batting title champ of all of MLB, displacing Ty Cobb. And before you jump on the Ty Cobb racism card, do yourself a favor and Google it. He was a generous man. He went out of his way, especially for the youth. He signed and responded to every fan's letter that was sent to him ad nauseum. He got a bad rap because that's what people want you to believe, that he was a bad guy, that he sharpened his spikes on his cleats before the game. Well, you know what? I don't see anything wrong with that. That's when baseball was baseball. And he slid clean. He aimed for the ankles of the second baseman or the shortstop. Nobody called Pete Rose a dirty player for barreling over the catcher and ending, in essence, his career in an all-star game, for God's sakes. Or Albert Bell knocking down the second baseman. No, those are overlooked because it's easy to overlook those because those were the stars of the game during our day. Nobody saw alive that's watching my podcast Ty Cobb play. So not only did Josh Gibson officially just displace Ty Cobb as the batting champ of all time, he also displaced Babe Ruth as the highest slugging percentage MLB ever to play the game in a 65-game season. And not only that, the Negro Leagues were famous for barnstorming, going town to town, playing on backyard ball field lots or whatever you want to call it, with no fences. So you hit it in the gap. You ran till the cows came home. The men of the Negro League deserve their accolades 1,000%. They deserve our apologies and our forgiveness for excluding them from Major League Baseball and stripping us of their abilities and their performance and their legendary hits and home runs. They deserve our forgiveness. But by no means do they deserve to be morphed into the mortals, the greats who grinded it out for 152 games. Some teams in the Negro League played about 40 games in a season. And when they barnstormed, it was a bunch of stars playing against a pickup team in the local neighborhood. Like the Globetrotters where they play the Generals. You always knew who was going to win. And Clark's giving me some info. I appreciate it. I forgot his name at the moment, but Ray Fosse, that Pete Rose drilled into tomorrow. And it was Fernando Vina at second base. Thank you, Kevin Elliott. You can't sit here and tell me that Rob Manfred's improving baseball with this move. You can't tell me. Josh Bell, Hall of Famer for sure. Cool Papa Bell. Satchel Paige. All greats of the Negro League. and they were denied, sadly. But what is Rob Manfred doing to my beloved game? What is he doing to our beloved game? He's making a complete mockery. So let me ask you this question. Your Babe Ruth's great-great-great-granddaughter, Ty Cobb's great-great-great-great-great-grandson, who lived his entire existence, know that his great-great-great-great-grandfather was an all-time batting champ. Not anymore. Eric Schuster, here's a cause for you to undertake. And Eric Schuster has a website pushing for Trevor Bauer to be reinstated to baseball, and I agree with him 100%. But Eric, here's a campaign I can help you with and get behind 100%. And while we're on it, Mark Brooks, Clark, Harold, repeat after me. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball ad nauseum. The sooner we get rid of Rob Manfred, the better I sleep at night. The better I digest my food after a hearty meal. Absolutely sick and disgusting. Allow me to show you I'm going to show you the NLE standings as we are today. Those Phillies, those damn Phillies are running away with it. They're 6 games above the Braves with a .684 winning percentage at 39-18. The Atlanta Braves are 31-22, and they just lost their superstar Ronald Acuna Jr. to another torn ACL. The Nationals, they're about as infamous as Carlos Mendoza. The Washington who? The Nationals have a better record than the Mets at the moment. 4 games under 500. And therein lies my team, the New York Mets, at 22-33, 11 games under 500. And it's my understanding we're losing 2-1 at the moment. And apparently the Miami Marlins have taken over the Cubs' place. And Harold, you're going to appreciate this. When the Cubs were in the National League East, we used to refer to the Cubs as the Mets' gift to the National League East with the Cubs, because the Cubs stunk to high heavens. We're at the 8:53 mark. We've covered a lot tonight. Danny's Road to the Show brought to you by Dom Scala Baseball.com. Update to Dom Scala Baseball Camp in Garden City. He's got 5 spots left. Look him up on Google, Dom Scala Baseball.com, and roll your son or daughter into Dom Scala Baseball. You will thank me. A top-notch summer camp for kids wanting and learning and desiring the game of baseball. So as we know, Danny's high school career has come to an abrupt end, exiting the playoffs after their second loss. Now we're going to regroup in the summer, revamp things up in August as he gets ready to represent the Golden Eagles of St. Joe's and Patchogue, Long Island. Danny will be studying accounting and playing under coaches Caputo and Ashatino, who are coming off their 3rd consecutive Skyline Championship. It's a top-notch coaching outfit, top-notch ball club, and we're excited to have Danny being part of that. that time of the night where we go to our prayer circle. We're at the 8:54 mark. Tonight, as always, we're praying for the following. Harold, we're praying for Dawn Squared, both your wife and co-worker, and your friend Ed, as he battles his testicular cancer outcome. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and mom as they face daily challenges every day. Linda Stein, you have our heartfelt prayers for your dad as he goes through his day-to-day health issues. Mark Brooks, my brother from another, we're praying for your dad up in Connecticut, as well as yourself, young man. You need to not only now stay vertical, Mark, but you need to avoid the swing of one cane, if you know what I mean. Kevin Elliott, we're praying for your health issues down there in Florida, in Hollywood, Florida. Krause family, we are praying for all you as Aubrey and you guys face her battle to keep the cancer in remission, and she's doing a hell of a job. Martha Tassiello, my coworker at Adelphi University, who couldn't be a more positive person as she recovers from her health illnesses. Clark, we're praying for your brother-in-law Brad and your sister Trish as he continues to receive positive outlooks on his medical condition. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for Lee's continued success in treatments on his cancer. Fred at the Smoke Therapy Cigar Lounge, we're praying for your future rotator cuff surgery. Ray Capers, back to normal. Hallelujah. Coach Courtney, we're praying for your brother-in-law Calvin and your sister Pat. Mr. McGowan, sir, we have your 6 as always, as you battle that ugly, disgusting C word. Keep fighting the fight, Mr. McGowan. Miriam Bello out in Las Vegas, high school friend, dear high school friend, as your mom's facing her daily challenges. Big John, we're praying for your friend Irene, your sister-in-law Kelly, as she deals with her hip replacement, and John would like us to pray for him, sending out an intention for him. Lonnie, your medical condition seems to be righting itself. Keep on the meds, and we're praying for your Bruce, who's dealing with Parkinson. Tom's Fred Paul, as he deals with his cancer treatment, and his friend Janet, also cancer treatment. And Tom's mom dealing with her medical issues. We are at the 8:57 mark. I hope you like the new Angie's Angles banner. It's pretty neat. I like it at the bottom. We got the logo up in the top. We had some videos that we played. We had the standings. We're just going to keep adding and adding and adding. And the only thing that I ask, that I request, if possible, is that you all watch me. You all watch me on YouTube. It's going to help the algorithms. It's going to help me get noticed by others. It's not that difficult. It'll be, I load up StreamYard, so you get a notification if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You could also comment. So you can comment if you see Clark's commenting via YouTube. Brett Milletta chiming in, telling me that the show stinks. I appreciate the feedback, whether it's positive or negative. There's no such thing as bad free press, if you know what I mean. This has been Angie's Angles coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. If you're ever in the neighborhood, step by. Good night. God bless. I love you.